12 now after 10 o'clock, 20 degrees, so we're going past the weatherman's 19 degrees, heading towards my prediction of 22 degrees. Of course, Barbara predicts 24 degrees. You know, just quietly, I think it might end up around about 27, but don't let her know that, because I think, you know, as far as she's concerned, it's going to stop at 22. It's not going to go any higher, and we've got plenty of day to find that out. It's Friday, coming into a brand spanking new weekend. It is October 15th. And today, very, very happy to have a very special guest with me. But first of all, let me do this.
Galaxy 107fm.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107fm. And I'm really, really excited to come and join. Yes, of course, we're talking about Dawn Rix coming out of West Virginia. And believe me, absolutely elated. It's been about 10 months since the last time we caught up, so we've got a little bit to discuss, you know, what's been happening. You know, just shoot the general, absolutely, because we're like that, we are. But I tell you what, we're going to get some good music though as well. And believe me, we're going to start off with something, well, you know it, we just haven't told you who, what, when or where, and you've been asking. So let's formally put this together. And I want to be holding you. Here is Dawn Rix. So how are you feeling, Dawn? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you.
By the way, what does it say on your ball cap?
Tennessee.
There you go. Love that. Do you guys have a flag?
Do we have a flag?
A state flag?
I think every state does. In the United States, we all have a state flag. Yes, sir.
Well, I tell you what, how would you like to send me a state flag from Tennessee?
Hey, I could do that. Or from West Virginia.
Yeah,
I'll try to find you something.
Yeah,
We've got
add
one,
to our collection. I mean, it's all
we've
about
got one
promoting
from,
bits and pieces. So
we've
why
got
not?
a Carolina one.
Yeah.
What a great idea. Absolutely.
Very cool. Because believe me,
And
we
we've
do
also
have some
got
from
that one.
pretty much everywhere. But I do like American state flags. I mean, I do have the American flag, the Old Glory.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
That's only because I was born there.
Hi Jack, hi Scott.
I'm an American by birth. I'm a Kiwi by adoption, but I'm an American by birth.
Hello.
There you go. I met an artist from Ireland when I was in Tennessee last week, Claire Cunningham, and she's absolutely amazing. And I loved her accent. I love listening to her talk, but she sings beautifully. I mean, just beautifully. And she was telling us all about Ireland, and it was so interesting to hear all the stories and just the lifestyle and how she's adjusted to Tennessee living, you know.
I was cool. I was in Ireland when Sinn Féin were blowing things up in Belfast. I really was. Should I go down the road of that joke?
No.
No, I shouldn't. No. It's not politically correct anymore, is it? Believe me, I've got a whole host of Irish jokes. I really have, and I'm not allowed to use them anymore. I've got to get a new repertoire.
Well, nowadays you're barely ever just even able to say anything.
Yeah, like the Irish tap dancer that fell in the sink, right? Scott Knowles joining us. Hello, buddy. Nice to have you on board. And Jack, nice to have you on board as well. Welcome. And believe me, it's an absolute pleasure to have everybody happening today because, you know, Dawn Rix is joining us. Good old friend of ours, she really is. Let's go live to the desk. radio beats. So hot, I'm sweating in here, I'm going to be honest with you. 21 degrees outside, at 10 degrees in here with all the computers and everything. It is hot. Hello, we've lost somebody.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened here. I tell you what, let's just have a quick squizzy. Where do we go?
Oh, it looks like Skype dropped out. Anyway, I'll
Yeah, I
keep-
tell you what, let's
We're gonna have
put on a
to,
couple of
come
songs
back
and
come back shortly. Bye. Part 2.
mhm.
See you soon.
Seems like the harder.
Believe me, it's the wonders of the interwebby thing. It really, really is. Currently, we're talking to Dawn Rix coming out of, well, I'm not sure now. Is it Tennessee or is it West Virginia? You know, when we first met each other.
It's West Virginia today. West Virginia today, but who knows where it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, well, you know, when I first met you, I think it was Nashville, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You were,
Yeah.
You were doing.
I'm in Nashville sometime, in West Virginia, the other part, but I just flew in yesterday from Mexico for a couple days of vacation.
Okay, okay. Well, you know something, I'm very envious. Actually, I have a friend of mine that's in Mexico right now. You may know the band, actually. Have you ever heard of a band called AC/DC?
Absolutely.
Right, well, the former and founder and former lead singer, Dave Evans, is currently in Mexico. He's doing a few shows over there. Believe me, he's a badass. He is. And he goes by that moniker too, by the way. But yeah, he's over there partying it up and having a good time, having shows and everything like that over there right now. So, well, if I'd known you were going, I would have said, look him up. I'm sure he'd be, he'd love to meet you. And
That would have been.
well, if you do, give him a poke in the eye for me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Literally. But yeah, Dave Evans is a very, very good friend of ours. Steve Baker's watching. Nice to have you on board, Steve. Unfortunately, we had a few technical problems. But,
Awesome.
but we're back again. And, well, we started the show, I Want to Be Holding You. And this was, well, we haven't officially released this yet. So please, tell us all about this track.
Yeah, I Want to Be Holding You was written by Corey Lee Barker, Terry Wayne, and Ava Page, and I'm sure you know who Ava is. It was an anniversary song originally, and then I reached out to Billy Gaines and asked if he would join me on it as a duet. And I was lucky enough to be signed with Eminent Music, and they released it to all the digital platforms maybe about a month ago. And we're getting some pretty good radio play, and so far everyone that has heard it falls in love with it, and it's become wedding songs, anniversary songs, proposal song. I mean, it's just a song about love and appreciation, and I couldn't have chosen or been fortunate enough to have a better duet partner than Billy Gaines on this one. So I hope your listeners love it, and it means as much to them as it does to me.
Well, I got to be honest with you, Dawn. So far, you're up around 1,207 requests, and it is climbing. And at the same time, well, we haven't actually said a lot about it. We've played it, right? Dip the toe in the water, see how the audience reacts to it, and literally. They've been saying to us they want to know more. Who, what, when, where, how. When are we doing the interview? Now we're doing the interview right now. Sean Simpson's watching us too, by the way. Very, very nice to have you on board, darling. And we have something in mind for you, Sean, for Christmas time. Just keep an eye out for Barbara and she'll lay it on you very, very shortly. But in the meantime, believe me, people wanted to know everything there was about it. And thank you for explaining that to us. But I'm at a loss, and I will tell you why I'm at a loss very, very shortly. But before we got into this, you were saying you would like to come to New Zealand and play in front of New Zealand audiences. We would love to have you. I'm sure we've spoken about this in the past, But seriously, it's a standing thing, Dawn. We would love to have you here in New Zealand. Really would. We'd love to show you around. But at the moment, it kind of feels like you've got to have at least a double jab passport to do anything anymore. Is it looking that way over there as well?
It seems that way. As far as travel is why I haven't been there yet, but it seems that different areas require different requirements, and actually it's not as hard as it was. It seems to be all the airlines and everything else are opening up, and the requirements aren't as harsh as everyone thinks. When I just traveled to Mexico, we didn't have to have a vaccination or COVID negative test going over there, but coming back to the United States, we had to have a negative test to come back to the United States. So I'm not sure what your requirements are there, if you have to show a vaccine card or if you have to show a negative test. But whatever it requires, I'd be willing to do to get over there to entertain you guys. I mean, we all need a little music therapy in our life.
This is true, and well, even Barbara was telling me this morning, and this is fascinating, one of the leading lawyer groups in New Zealand, and Barbara is actually one of their clients, are turning away their own lawyers unless they've been vaccinated. They can't, we're going to fire you. In other words, here in New Zealand, there's a mandate for teachers and educators these days. You can't go to work unless you've been vaccinated. Frontline health workers, you would have thought that would have been a no-brainer, literally. And for everybody else, well, we got to wear a mask and everything out in public, and we can actually say to everybody around us, which is true. You know what I mean?
That's perfect.
It is absolutely stunning, but we can see the end of this. We can see a light at the end of the tunnel, and very, very shortly, you see, we want to stamp it out altogether, make sure everybody's healthy, had their shots, all that sort of stuff, so that we can start bringing bands back into the country. Dawn, we want to bring you here and show you around Aotearoa.
As soon as I can, or as soon as you all say the word, I'm there.
Very, very cool. Now, I did say to you, I'm kind of at a loss, right? And let me tell you why I'm kind of at a loss. Is this morning while doing the breakfast show, our production manager comes bowling on in and he says, "You're not going to believe this. I've just received a Dawn Rix track, brand spanking new, and I haven't heard it." That's why I'm at a loss, is that it's not often that I actually get to play music that I've never heard before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How did you do that to me?
I just kind of snuck it in there at the last minute, and I asked Barbara at the last second if I had sent it yet, and she said no. So I went ahead and sent it on over because we haven't officially released it yet in the USA, and the record label hasn't put it out there yet. But I absolutely love the song so much, and I thought it would be so fun because you have so many loyal listeners, for you guys to jump in and play it and see what they think.
Not only are we breaking it as a premiere song, is this a world release that we're doing right now?
I believe it is, actually. And what's so nice about it is it's one that I wrote. So I typically, my entire life, I've always sang songs written by other people. It's always best to sing the best songs. But this one here, I call it my baby because it's more of an anthem song. If there were ever to be a song written about me, this is definitely it. And a dear songwriter friend of mine, Rick Tiger, who recently had passed from COVID, I had sent it to him prior to him passing, and he had sent me back a message, and he said, "This is the one, girl. This is your anthem song. Now get out there and play it and show them how it's done."
Well,
I'm excited to hear what you think.
well, I tell you what, I'll give you an honest critique at the end of it. But personally,
Okay.
Dawn, I think you've come a long way from the time that you were standing on the stairs, you know, singing down to everybody else in the family. Literally, you now are on the precipice of making it in the big stage. You really, really are. Let's just get the world open to the big stages. Tennessee Miles, now, you know, give me a little bit about the lyrics. Tell me how you came to this.
Honestly, the story is more interesting than the song. I literally was in my Ford Escape and thinking I was having a really rough day. And I looked down, my Ford Escape had 370,000 miles on it. Every light was on, my windshield was shattered. And I kept thinking, you know, I really should trade it in and get a new one. But I think it still has some miles left on it. And heck, it's only Tennessee miles. And I was like, "Oh, hold up." And so I took out my phone and I was like, you know, it's just like me. I'm 50. I am not 20, just fresh out in the business. And people probably say I should give up on my dreams, or, you know, if I haven't made it yet, I'm not going to make it, et cetera, et cetera. And I still have blacktop left to burn. I still have songs that need to be heard, and I'm not giving up, and I never have. So I put the two and two together, trying to describe my vehicle, but yet how it's the same with me. As like my heart shattered like the windshield, and my pocket is like a gaslight on E, meaning empty, broke. And I just think back to the little girl that I was, and I don't want to let that little girl down, and I don't want to shatter her dream. And I still believe, no matter what, that people should keep going and just never ever give up. And so I'm hoping that people can relate to the song, no matter what their dream is or their goal or what they want to achieve. And I hope that they can relate to it and never give in, never cave in. And you know, for me, I chalk it up. It's Tennessee Miles, and there's more blacktop that needs to be burned.
You know, not only do I respect that, I admire that. Well done. Good words, literally good words. And you know something? I'm looking forward to hearing this. I really, really am. So let's kick her off. So new, even I haven't heard it this morning. Here is Tennessee Miles with Dawn Rix. How you feeling, Dawn? You okay?
I'm good. I hope you love the song. I mean, my windshield was shattered. I was on empty. My heart was shattered like the windshield. And I just thought I could paint that picture, that correlation between, you know, the vehicle is old and beat up, and it's had its life's ups and downs, and, you know, it could easily be traded in, but it still has another good one in it, you know?
Absolutely.
And that's how I feel. I feel I've covered a lot of ground, but I still reset goals and I reset dreams, and I keep writing songs that don't have to be number ones, and they don't have to have tons of listeners, but the songs that I write have a message that the person that's meant to hear it will hear it. And if one person's life is touched or changed, then I've done my duty.
Well, you know something? A young lady by the name of Cheryl Schofield says that's not only beautiful, that's inspirational. Good words.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Donnie Coulter is joining us as well. Good morning, Donnie. It's nice to have you back. Cheryl, we love you. We really, really do.
and
From the Blue Mariah Band.
We need to catch up on Sterling.
Yes, we do. We really, really do. I really want to get this one done with Sterling.
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
been a while. Oh, awesome.
Heading to Nashville with Brendan Lorenzo and Sterling John on November the 4th. You lucky woman!
Hi, Gear.
I love it. Gay Miranda's joining us as well. Very, very cool.
Hi,
Coming out
Jonah.
of course.
Hi, Donnie.
Sorry, it's very hard. It's hard to do this when she's waving at things. You know what I mean? Literally. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Gabe Miranda, of course, coming out of Norway, and he's the manager of a band.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's the manager of a band called Viking Queen. Awesome band.
Nice.
Very, very cool.
Very
yeah.
good.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
I actually introduced him to another band coming out of Canada, and these guys got on so well, they actually made a Christmas song together.
Oh, very cool.
Well, actually, I got to be honest with you. I challenged them, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't. Do you remember the soundtrack? And it also came with its own dance called the Charleston.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, these are heavy metal bands. Let's see you put that in as a hook. And they went, no. So I said, okay, come up with a Christmas song. They did, and knocked it out of the park.
Oh, very cool.
Let's go back to the desk, Dawn.
These Tennessee loves, stars in the Nashville sky shine as bright as they once did. Galaxy.
That's right, you're right, here at Galaxy 107 FM. Hi Barb, Cheryl says. Now, I've got a young lady, her name is Bethany, she's coming out of Cairns, Australia, and she says, Dawn, what would you attribute as your single most success in the business so far?
Oh, single most success so far. Oh my gosh, I think just getting a song played on radio is a big success. But one of my childhood dreams was to perform at the Grand Ole Opry, and back in 2017, I was able to be part of the Dr. Ralph Stanley tribute show that Darlene Fowler and MC1 Nashville had put on. And I think performing on the Opry stage, I don't believe it ever gets better than that. And then that same night, I got to meet Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood as well, because his daughter Allie Colleen had sang the same evening for the show.
That is cool.
I think that it's hard to top that.
Okay, well, you know something, that's very, very cool, and the feather in your cap. In fact, you know, I've been to the Opry myself. My favourite place, now I don't know where your favourite place is, most people say either on the spot or on the green room, but mine is just that little walkway behind the curtain. You know, the place where, I mean, stars have walked there, and it gives you that ambience,
Yeah.
you know, and they have walked there in anticipation of going on the other other side of that curtain. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, there is magic. I mean, unless you have, if you've been there, you understand what I'm saying. There's magic, and it's in awe. I mean, it's breathtaking to walk through there and realize how many other people have been through there. My very first time, I had won a backstage visit, and I was so nervous. My phone went dead. I didn't have a pen. I had no paper, so I couldn't get autographs, and I didn't think anyone would believe me back home because I had no proof of anything. But I was so nervous, I ran into the ladies' room, and I ran dead smack into my head, right into Terry Clark. And I had to apologize. I said, I'm so sorry. And she said, is this your first time back here? I said, yes, ma'am. But I got to meet Roy Clark and little Jimmy Dickens and a whole slew of people. But just to know that you're in the same dressing room that Minnie Pearl was in, or just looking at the wall of those who have passed on, you know, before us, it's magical. Walking in under the guest entrance sign outside was, you know, something I'll never get tired of, you know, recapturing the moment, looking at pictures of that. But I think, I just, you know, whether you are in the audience or whether you're in that circle or backstage, the whole entire Opry experience is just one that is totally unforgettable. And I'm forever blessed and thankful for that opportunity.
Dawn, don't forget, it was founded around radio. Remember that? You know,
Yes,
and it
yes,
has,
absolutely.
it's enveloped so much history. You can smell it. You really can. Not only feel it, you can smell the history of the building. You really, really can. And it's so exciting to be a part of. It really is. Cheryl says, this is making me so excited. Literally. But Dawn, unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap it up here and move on. But one final question. With this COVID thing going on right now, are you recording more? Are you writing more? Are you looking at releasing more? Will you come back again?
Oh, I will come back anytime you would like. And I have lots of songs in the works. And so I'll constantly be sending you some new stuff. And hopefully your listeners are going to fall in love with the 2 songs that you showcased today. But they can also find my music on Spotify or iHeart, YouTube, those type of things. But thank you all so very much. I love you guys. I try to tune in when I can to see other guests that you have. But you guys are the real deal, and we appreciate you so much. So thank you.
It is an absolute pleasure, Dawn. And as you know, after this, we're going to do some crazy stuff. Yeah, we've been through this before. But I tell you what, Dawn, something new. We're going to make you into a cartoon as well.
Yay! Awesome.
I got to be honest with you. It's one of the few things that actually makes me look good. It really does. Of course, I got a place for radio. Dawn, don't go anywhere just yet, but we'll switch over to the other studio. And New Zealand artists too, by the way, Sharon O'Neill and Maxine.